Your lesson plan will summarise the content of your 15-minute Microteach, and you basically use the various different columns within the lesson plan to actually annotate and show exactly what will be going on at the various different stages of a lesson, and also the timings the time you'll be spending on each section of that lesson. You can see at the top you'll have your aim and objectives. So we mentioned that on the previous video. Ultimately, you have to have a clear aim and objectives. This will be on your lesson plan, and as we suggested, you should also always start your actual lesson with this, so it's nice and clear for everyone exactly what you're going to be doing. The first column on there, timings, this is where you actually basically annotate and show exactly how long you'll be spending on each part of the lesson. So for many of you, the introductory bit where you actually state your name, your subject, probably your aim and your objectives, that's going to be that first row. So it's probably quite likely that most of you will spend about 2 minutes on this part of the course. The second column, the trainer or the teacher activities, this is where you describe exactly what you'll be doing at the various different activities within the lesson. Okay, so if you're talking about the beginning, it might be you just describing, you put down there that you're going to be introducing your topic. If maybe it's later on and you're sort of doing some sort of demonstration, you just describe that's exactly what you'll be doing at that part of the lesson. The third column is the actual activities of your students, of the learners. So the same as what you were describing for yourself, what you were doing, you do exactly the same for them under that column. So the idea being, if someone picked up your lesson plan and they were going to cover your lesson, they had the same subject knowledge, they can just see quite clearly what it is that you'll be doing and exactly what it is that the students will be doing at the various different stages. The resources column is fairly self-explanatory. So what resources you're using for each stage of a lesson. So this could be PowerPoint presentation you might put down, or it could be, the worksheets, or maybe some practical models, whatever it is that you're using at that stage of the lesson. You've then got the inclusion column, which we talked about quite extensively on Unit B. This is for you to actually show on your lesson plan how you're making sure you involve all of your learners during the different stages of the lesson. Then you've got assessment methods. So we talked about on Unit C the importance of assessing your students and doing this all the way through the actual lesson, ensuring they do actually understand. So for this column, you're able to show throughout your Microteach how you are actually assessing them, and then possibly maybe some sort of summative assessment at the end, a quiz, a recap, to prove that learning has actually taken place. And then the last one on there is your functional skills column. So we talked about how we try to embed numeracy, literacy and ICT within our Microteach, or within teaching in general. Within your 15-minute Microteach, we don't want you to go out of your way to ensure that you've got literacy, numeracy and ICT within it, but you'll find naturally you will actually be able to identify where these functional skills are actually being practiced within your lesson, and obviously that sort of ticks that box. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the different components of the lesson plan. You don't have to use this template that you've been sent, but we would recommend you do, simply because obviously this is what Highfield recommend and it's what they use within their teaching, and it enable you to make sure you hit the criteria for the actual specific planning of your Microteach.